If you've been told you might need your gallbladder removed, you're facing a decision that cannot be undone. What most people don't realize is that the real risk isn't just the surgery, it's making the wrong decision about whether to have it at all. As a surgeon, my job is not simply to operate, it is to decide when surgery will truly help you and when it won't. I am a surgeon, and part of my work is treating patients with gallbladder disease. I've seen how this decision can create uncertainty, because removing an organ is never just a technical act. It's a judgment about risk, timing, and benefit. This video is for education only, and it cannot replace medical advice from your own doctor. But I want to help you understand how surgeons think when we face this decision. Gallstones are common. Many people will live their entire life with gallstones and never know that they actually have them. Others will experience pain, uncertainty, or complications that bring them in contact with the healthcare system. And at some point, a question emerges. Should the gallbladder be removed or left alone? On the surface, the answer may seem simple. There are stones, so let's remove the organ that forms them. Many patients ask an understandable questions. Why not just remove the stones and leave the gallbladder in place? But the reality is far more complex, because surgery is not performed to treat scans. It is performed to help a person. And the presence of gallstones alone does not tell us whether surgery will help, have no effect, or in some cases expose someone to risk without meaningful benefit. This is why the decision exists. Most discussions focus on the stones, but stones alone don't determine the need for surgery. Some people live their entire lives without gallstones and never develop symptoms. Others experience severe recurring attacks or complications that can become dangerous. And two patients with identical scans may require completely different decisions. Because surgery is not based on what we see, it is based on what is likely to help and what is likely to happen next. From a surgical perspective, the decision to remove the gallbladder usually falls into a small number of clearly defined diagnoses. Each reflects a different disease's behavior, and each carries its own balance of benefit, risk, and urgency. First, we have recurrent gallstone attacks. Biliary colic. This is the most common indication. These attacks occur when gallstones temporarily obstruct the gallbladder outlet, creating internal pressure and pain that resolves once the obstruction clears. Some people experience frequent and severe attacks that disrupt daily life. Others may have rare episodes separated by years. The frequency and severity of attacks are central to the decision. Frequent or escalating attacks increase the likelihood of future episodes and complications, and the expected benefit of surgery becomes clearer. In contrast, very mild or infrequent symptoms may support a more cautious approach. The benefit of surgery is removing the source of obstruction, preventing future attacks. The uncertainty lies in a diagnostic certainty. Surgery is most effective when symptoms clearly originate from the gallbladder. Then, acute inflammation of the gallbladder. Acute cholecystitis. This occurs when obstruction persists and the gallbladder becomes inflamed. At this stage, the gallbladder is no longer simply causing intermittent symptoms, it has become an actively diseased organ. Once acute cholecystitis has occurred, surgery is typically indicated, either during the same hospital admission or after the inflammation has resolved. The purpose of surgery is to remove the diseased organ and prevent recurrence, which is otherwise common. The benefit is a definitive treatment. The key judgment is timing, though. Operating too early in unstable conditions may increase risk, while waiting too long exposes the patient to further episodes. The decision is therefore not whether surgery will be needed, but when it can be performed most safely. Next, we have gallstones in the bile duct, cholecystitis. In this condition, stones migrate from the gallbladder into the bile ducts, where they can obstruct bile flow. This obstruction may need to be relieved using specialized procedures to remove the stones from the ducts. Once the duct is cleared, removing the gallbladder addresses the source of future stone formation. These additional procedures may extend overall treatment course and influence the timing of gallbladder removal. The benefit of gallbladder removal is reducing the risk of future duct obstruction. The decision balances prevention of recurrence against the risk inherent to surgery. Then, we have gallstone-related inflammation of the pancreas, biliary pancreatitis. In this situation, a gallstone transiently obstructs the shared drainage between the bile system and the pancreas, triggering pancreatic inflammation. Severity varies widely, from mild episodes to life-threatening disease. If the gallbladder is determined to be the source of the triggering stone, removing it substantially reduces the risk of recurrence. No intervention can reduce the risk to absolute zero, but removing the gallbladder removes the origin of nearly all future gallstone-related events. The benefits is prevention of further pancreatic injury. The decision depends on recovery, stability, and overall clinical judgment. Lastly, we have gallstones without symptoms. Asymptomatic cholecystitis. Gallstones without symptoms. This is the most common situation. Gallstones are often discovered incidentally and may never cause harm. If the stones do not produce symptoms, surgery offers no clear medical benefit. Avoiding surgery avoids exposing the patient to unnecessary risk. In these cases, observation is often the safest course. The most dangerous complication is infection of the bile ducts, cholangitis. This is one of the most serious gallstone-related complications. It occurs when obstruction in the bile ducts leads to infection within the biliary system. This condition requires urgent treatment to relieve the obstruction and to control the infection. Once the immediate danger has been resolved, removing the gallbladder may be necessary to prevent recurrence. The benefit is preventing future episodes that may carry significant risk. The decision depends on recovery and overall clinical stability. This is the clinical reality. The decision is not based on stones alone. It is based on whether the gallbladder is a source of present or future harm. Now imagine two people, both told they have gallstones. The first has experienced repeated severe attacks over the past year. The pain arrives suddenly, interrupts sleep, and creates a growing sense of unpredictability. Even between attacks, there is a constant awareness that another episode could occur at any given time. The second person discovered gallstones incidentally. No attacks, no clear symptoms, no disruption of daily life. On paper, they share the same finding, but clinically, they are in completely different situations. For the first person, the gallbladder has demonstrated that it is a source of ongoing harm. The probability of future attacks is high, and surgery offers a clear path to preventing that cycle. For the second person, the gallbladder is silent. Removing it would not solve an existing problem, only expose them to the risks of intervention without clear benefit. This is why the decision is never based on the presence of stones alone. It is based on behavior of the disease over time. My responsibility as a surgeon is not to simply remove an organ, it is to prevent future harm. When the gallbladder has demonstrated that it is a source of pain, inflammation, or risk, then removing it often prevents future episodes that may be more severe or less predictable. But when the gallbladder is silent and the probability of harm is low, restraint becomes equally important. Because every surgery creates permanent change and carries risks, even when performed safely. The goal is not to act early, the goal is not to act late, the goal is to act at the moment when removing the gallbladder meaningfully reduces future risk. That moment is different for every single patient, and recognizing it is the essence of surgical judgment. This is what makes the decision difficult, because both action and inaction carry uncertainty. Operating too early may expose someone to permanent change and surgical risk without clear benefit, and operating too late may allow preventable complications to occur. There is rarely a single test or scan that makes the decision automatically clear. Instead, surgeons work in probabilities. We observe patterns. We evaluate severity. We assess how the disease behaves over time. And we ask a simple question. Is your future likely to be safer with the gallbladder removed or left in place? I hope this has helped you better understand how surgeons think about this decision. Because behind every recommendation is not just a procedure, but years of training, experience, and responsibility focused on protecting you from future harm. If you want to better understand how surgeons think, not just about the gallbladder, but about surgical decisions in general, I invite you to continue watching.